you got ejected?
That wasn't the same thing. I was trying to draw a foul. I accidentally made contact with him, and it was again. I'm swinging away like he's holding my hip. I don't know if any of y'all ever played against Nurkic, but he's strong as shit, and so I'm trying to just spin away out of him holding my hip like this, and my momentum continues forward and hits him. So, not quite the bad situations that I've put my team in before. This wasn't that. Just accidentally made contact with him trying to sell a foul.
What did you think about the rotation tweaks Steve made, taking Andrew and Loon out of the lineup to start the second half and then not closing with Clay?
I mean, Steve told us that in the first day of camp. Really, was it the first day of camp? It could have been before camp. That we have a very deep team, and he's going to go with the players that are playing well. But shit, I was minus 15. So, you look at, you look at our bench, they're all pluses damn near. So, I probably would have got benched too had I not had the event not happen because, it's clear. We were struggling. So, and yet, Clay's +4 on the night. So, it's not something that I'm shocked by because, you're trying to find a rhythm, you're trying to win games and just trying to go with the guys that are playing well and producing. So I don't look too far into who's benched or whatnot. You're just trying to find lineups that works. And I respect, Steve's calls on that.
Nurkic was just asked about the play, and he said that brother needs help. What's your response to that?
Respect. I still know what my intentions were. But respect. I think we all need help.
Been a guy in the past, when Steve says, hey, we're going to, like in the playoffs last year, right, come back, hey, we're going to start Loon over here, you're going to come off the bench, instances like that. As you just said, you've always been very open to that, go with the flow, okay with that. For other guys, I mean, Clay was just talking to us and how he said it was very strange for him not to close and looked visibly upset on the bench. I know you're not inside Clay's head, but how does a guy how do you check your ego and your pride sometimes in those moments just for what has to happen to win?
Oh, well, I don't think, I don't think anyone's overly worried about someone being upset that they're not playing because we're competitors. You work ultimately to play these games and put a great product on the floor and play great because, that's the job, right? So I don't think anyone's overly worried about someone being upset that they're not playing because we're all competitive, But, as far as ego goes, egos always have to be checked on a team because it's a team sport and it's made up of individuals. And the goal is always to make the sum of those parts work together. And, sometimes it goes better than others. And that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I think, for Clay, and for anybody in this situation, the number one goal for everyone just has to be to win. Whether that's you're playing or you're not playing, the number one goal of a team in order for a team to be successful is it has to be to win the game. And you figure out everything else after. But I don't think Clay's ever had to deal with that. And so your first time dealing with that is different, and your reaction, you never know how you're going to react to something like that until you go through it, And so that's foreign territory for Clay. I don't think anyone's mad that he was upset about it. You don't want somebody that just goes sit there and like, oh, it don't matter. You want guys that's going to compete.
Do you expect these lineup decisions, closing decisions, to be more common? I know you're looking at the plus minus tonight, but obviously there's been a lot of trends recently that have kind of led to this moment.
Yeah, I think it'll continue for sure. Because again, you're just trying to find the lineups that works. You're trying to find the lineups that ultimately mesh and give you the best chance to win. And sometimes that can be like who you're facing as well. You know, some guys match up differently or better or worse with certain teams. And you know, so I think that'll play a role in it too. You know, it's not just, I don't think it's some set in stone thing. Just kind of trying to figure this thing out on the fly. And, you know, the different lineups that you try, if you find one that's working, you go with it. Clearly we did. PP was plus 18, Dario was plus 21, JK was plus 13, CP was plus 12. So, you know, it's not like we're just looking at something and it's like, oh, that didn't make sense. Like, clearly it made sense. Those guys were playing really well. So I don't expect it to be like, oh, one specific thing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I do expect that whoever's playing best is going to be on the floor.
Last one. The league, I assume, will probably reach out to you tomorrow. Do you expect to have a conversation with them?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I'll have the conversation. And I'll tell them the same thing I told you, you know. Wasn't an intentional thing. Did I make contact? Yes, of course. We all can see that, but I didn't set out to do a 360 punch. You're going to punch somebody, you turn around and punch, not a 360. So we'll see.